The truth is out there. Knowledge is power. This is the Prepper Podcast Radio Network.
And with winter comes dangerous driving conditions. Get your vehicle ready for bad weather by getting it serviced as soon as possible. Prepare for emergencies by packing food, water, warm clothes, and weather-appropriate shoes or boots. Don't forget to check the spare to make sure it's usable. Stay informed on bad weather, dangerous driving events by visiting PrepperPodcast.com. When Christmas comes, you don't want your family to stare at an empty chair.
The new Be Prepared for Christmas package from Sun Ovens contains everything you need to harness the power of the sun for cooking, water, and dehydrating. The perfect gift for the preppers or outdoor enthusiast on your shopping list. A sun oven uses the sun's power to bake, boil, or steam food, heat water for purification or personal hygiene, or solar dehydrate. When you use the sun's power on sunny days, you preserve your fuel storage for rainy days. Sun-baked foods retain moisture, have less shrinkage, and do not burn. Sun-baked roasts are tastier and more succulent, and sun-baked bread has unparalleled taste and texture. The new Be Prepared for Christmas package lets you roast an 18-pound turkey. For the past 26 years, Sun Ovens has been proudly made in the U.S., are durable, and have a long life and come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. For a discount coupon, visit sunoven.com/podcast. That's sunoven.com/podcast.
Are you sick and tired of having your First Amendment harassed or censored on Facebook? Use no more, as we now have a new alternative to Facebook. It's called Awareness Act. Awareness Act is a social network designed for patriots, to be used by patriots, and is ran by patriots. Stand up and help in the fight to protect your constitutional rights. Patriots can create pages, blogs, videos, documents, articles, and so much more. We even have a unique news feed system that allows you to share, read, or connect with any patriot on Awareness Act. We are a dedicated tool for patriots to use against the tyranny our Constitution is facing. So if you're tired of having your rights infringed upon, come check us out at www.awarenessact.com. Again, that is www.awarenessact.com, the social network for patriots, not potatoes.
Whether you take me for the fool, I know that I can be. Whether you see me eye to eye.
Have you ever wanted to generate your own supply of electrical power, even save money on your electric bill? If so, this is going to be the most important message you will ever hear. Solar power generators are now available. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Run sump pumps, shortwave radios, computers, and even keep your food from spoiling. Whether it's hurricanes, ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never suffer through painful power outages again. And here's the best news, a remarkable fall truckload sale going on right now that gets you $1,700 in bonuses when you buy a solar generator. To find out why solar generators are the best generators and get $1,700 for doing so, go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com. Generate your own supply of electricity. Go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com.
Researcher Andrew Wakefield of outright fraud. People need to look at the details and not look at the headlines.
This is like saying the visceral response that they're trying to whip up in the public to try and crush this dissent.
Enough is enough.
If you like the efficiency of the post office, the confidence of FEMA, and the compassion of the IRS, we will love the nationalized health care bill. Cover up our kids. What are the votes from the press and the public? The fact that the real to know. Don't let anybody make you think.
This is KPRN-DB, broadcasting worldwide from Southeast Oklahoma, USA, to parts unknown. This is the Prepper Podcast Radio Network News with your host, James Smith.
And hello, Preppers. This is James Smith with the Prepper Podcast Radio Network News. How's everybody doing today? All information provided is so that you can make reasonable and rational decisions on how you will be prepping for the upcoming issue that I will be discussing, because I have more faith in you than anyone else in the media. This show is politics, Hollywood, fashion, and social events free. If you want fluff, find it somewhere else. If you want to live and not suffer from ignorance, listen on. There's lamestream news, there's right-wing news, and now there's prepper news. News targeted for all preppers. We report current and pending legislation and how it affects you. Learn of potential hazardous weather and potential disasters before they strike. Understand how the economy is forcing you to make tough decisions. This is your news, news that you can use. Now, you can listen to the Prepper Podcast Radio Network live feed by calling 786-837-2278. You can also listen to it by visiting prepperpodcast.com or pprnnews.com. It'll automatically start playing for you. Our blog is found at prepperpodcast.com, and I want you to know that that's news, and there's videos on how to prepare, different ways, different methods. You can catch our Twitter feed at PPRN News. That's Papa, Romeo, November, Echo, Whiskey, Sierra. And if you have a news story, let us know by emailing newstip@pprnnews.com. All right, and now on to the topic du jour,
which is tyranny. What is tyranny? Tyranny is when somebody who's an authority says to you, do as I say, not as I do. And that's what we're facing in our world today. It's not North Korea is the sole tyrant, so the tyrannical regime. It's not Russia anymore. It's not China anymore. It's America. America is becoming a tyranny. Sadly, you let it happen. I let it happen. I drew a line in the sand and I forgot where I put the line. I forgot I was even on the beach. Tyranny is what America has become. So let's talk about some of the latest news stories, and maybe you might understand what exactly I'm talking about. Let's start with the first one. Now, this comes from the Activist Post. It's written by Eric Blair. Mr. Blair is a very good writer, and his article is NDAA, which stands for the National Defense Authorization Act 2013, let's identify the traitors to the U.S. Constitution. Mr. Blair has said that by now anyone who pays attention to politics knows that the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, of 2012 contained a provision that allows for the indefinite detention of U.S. citizens without charge or trial. Now, it's Section 1021, and it states, quote, belligerent acts, those that commit belligerent acts suspected of being involved in belligerent acts against the United States can be detained by the U.S. military under the authorization for use of military force. And this includes United States citizens. Now, you may think, well, that's not cool. Well, you see, Mr. Obama wanted that put into the act, that it was U.S. citizens. Now, as Lindsey, I'm going to keep reading here. Lindsey Graham pretty much summed up when he said, the homeland is part of the battlefield, and people can be held without trial, whether an American citizen or not. Even though this 1021 clause is a direct violation of citizens' rights under the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution, there was hardly, in fact, there was no dissent in the corporate media, NBC, CBS, ABC, NPR, PBS, New York Times, Washington Post, probably Washington Post did say something, Newsweek, Time, Life, Harper's Ferry, whomever. They didn't care. They liked this. This is a good thing. The Sixth Amendment is what protects you. According to the Sixth Amendment, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury, of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. That's gone, ladies and gentlemen, under the NDAA. At any point in time, if they think that you participated in belligerent acts against the United States government, white vans, black vans, I don't care, SUVs, they'll pull up right next to you. They will put a bag over your head. They will zip tie your hands together behind your back, and they will throw you in there. They don't have to be gentle because you're a terrorist. What did you do? Maybe you gave money to a group that may support somebody who we later found out is supporting terrorism. That's all it takes. You may think that I'm being a little extreme. Tell it to the Pakistani citizens who get killed by predator drones, some of them being Americans. The legal authorization for that, ladies and gentlemen, is classified. That's right. You have no right to know what algorithm, what decision-making tree is used to decide if American citizens overseas dies or lives. Rand Paul put an amendment to the NDA 2013. See, they tried to pass it again. And this is which the Senate hoped would rush through before the Thanksgiving recess, but Rand Paul used a filibuster and he attempted to force a vote on his amendment to exempt American citizens from the indefinite detention clause. His amendment read, "A citizen of the United States who is captured or arrested in the United States and detained by the armed forces of the United States pursuant to the authorization for use of military force, Public Law 107-40, shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, and district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and have the assistance of counsel for his defense." Sound familiar? Sixth Amendment. But this is what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen. You need to pay attention. You need to wake up. You need to find out, because we're going to post whomever said I to NDAA 2013. You need to write them if they're your representative, and you need to tell them that you're not happy. And if you have a set of balls on you, I would strongly suggest that you send them a letter that you're going to start a recall process. Grow a spine, grow a set, and seriously, work to remove that person from office. If you want to be blind, stupid, fine. Do it on somebody else's time, not on my time. There is no difference between what they're doing and what the Nazis did back in the 30s, late 30s. No difference. Let's move on. Just posted this today. This comes from WKBW, Buffalo, New York State. Downtown Buffalo residents were shocked yesterday to see a high-tech police tower had been erected to spy on Thanksgiving revelers using the same technology deployed against illegal aliens on the border. The Skywatch Command Tower is elevated 30 feet above the ground level to give police a panoramic view of the streets and fitted with sophisticated surveillance equipment. The manufacturer of the device boasts that the tower can be used for civilian security operations and crowd control. This thing's got more cameras than Camera World. It's right on Delaware Avenue. Got a video there you can play. It's 1.5 minutes long. Yeah. Tyranny 2013, United States. Welcome to it. One more story before a quick break. This is from Before It's News. Cruel and unusual punishment. Police execute women by electrocution without electric chair. It's got a video. According to Amnesty International, between 2001 and 2008, 351 people in the United States, by the way, it's about 50 a year, died after being shocked by police tasers. By the way, that's about 4 people a month. That's about 1 a week. Add the 181 deaths listed below in this article, and the total documented deaths by electrocution comes up to 532 since 2011. That's about 55. That's about a little over 1 a week. Death can occur from any shock that carries enough current to stop the heart. Small currents, just between 70 and 700 milliamp, usually trigger fibrillation in the heart, which is reversible via defibrillation. But large currents, anything over an amp, causes permanent damage via burns and cellular damage, and by the way, is an electrocution. It takes 1/10 of 1 amp to kill you. Whether an electric current is fatal also depends on the path it takes through the body, which depends on points on the turn on the points which the current enters and leaves the body. So when they shoot towards the heart, it goes through one to the other. Now, when they defib you, when they shock you, like you see on TV, they put one above your right shoulder and one below your left side of your right where your spleen would be, just underneath the rib cage, because that is the natural route that electricity would travel through your body and a normal circulating heart, functioning heart. That's the electronic path. But when they zap you, they don't know where it's going. It could land just under your right rib cage and over your left shoulder, which will seriously stop your heart because that's not the right direction for your electric path of your heart. Now, electrocution started with the electric chair. Now, it's the official method of capital punishment in only 2 countries, the U.S. and the Philippines. And it's almost obsolete. But the thing is when you're sending 50,000 volts through your body, okay, that's the voltage. The way you determine current is you need resistance. Resistance on a body depends on a couple things. One, it's the skin resistance. If your skin is sweaty, it lowers the resistance, which increases the current. Okay? If you are heavy set, that alters the current because it changes the resistance. If you're skinny, that alters. So they think they're doing right, but they're killing people. Now there's a video here that you can see. This California Highway Patrol person shocks a woman 3 times, sending 3 separate 50,000 jolts into Jones's chest, killing her on her feet. Death by cop, electrocution. Yep, tyranny. But what do we know? Be back in 30 seconds. And we're back. So, we've all been told that the UN is trying to get rid of our guns because an unarmed society is an easy society to control. They've been wanting to get rid of guns since forever because guns are evil. I've got a coffee cup in my hand right now. Let me tell you, I can kill more people with that coffee cup than my gun will ever kill. It's made of glass. Sharp, pointy things have killed more people than guns have ever killed. Disease has killed more people than guns have ever killed. Let's ban all disease. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll ban it because it's evil. We'll ban sharp, pointy things because people die. Forks, knives, swords, sharp sticks. Let's ban them. They're bad. They kill people. All right. So according to Alan Corwin, he's the author of Gun Laws of America, found at gunlaws.com. The gun ban list proposed, slipping below the radar or even under the short-term memory cap. The Democrats have already leaked a gun ban list, even under the Bush administration when they knew full well it had no chance of passage, which was H.R. 1022 of the 110th Congress. Let me tell you what's in here. I'm going to read every single weapon, just to show you how many that they want to get rid of. rifles. Copies are duplicates. Okay, so these are knockoffs, what they mean by that. M1 carbine, which is one of the first guns I learned to shoot. A Sturm Ruger Mini 14, AR-15, Bushmaster XM15, Armalite M15, AR-10, Thompson 1927, oh, it's a beautiful gun, Thompson M1, AK, AKM, AKS, AK-47, AK-74, ARM, MAK-90, NHM-90, NHM-91, SA-85, SA-93, VEPR, Olympics Arms PCR, AR-70, Calico Liberty, Dragunov SVD sniper rifle or Dragunov SVU, Fabrique Nationale FNFAL, FNLAR, or FNC. Oh, this pisses me off. High Point 20 carbine, HK91, HK93, by the way, HK stands for Heckler Koch, HK94, HK PSG1, Thompson 1927 Commando, Kel-Tec sub rifle, Saigo SAR-8, SAR-4800, SKS with detachable magazine. They're all detachable. SLG 95, SLR 95 or 96, Steyr AU, Tavor, Uzi, Galil, and Uzi Sportser, Galil Sporter, or Galil sniper rifle. That's just rifles. Let's go on the pistols. Calico M110, Mac 10, Mac 11, or MPA3. Olympic Arms OA. Somebody's got a hard on for OA. Was it Olympic Arms? I know they got something against everybody else. Okay. Tech 9, Tech DC 9, Tech 22 Scorpion, or AB10. Uzi. That's just handguns. Pistols. Shotguns. Armcorps 30 BG, SPAS 12, or Law 12, Striker 12, Street Sweeper, which is a catch-all category for anything that they missed, or is a new design. A semi-automatic rifle that accepts a detachable magazine and has a folding or telescoping stock, a threaded barrel. All rifles have threaded barrels. A pistol grip, which includes anything that can serve as a grip, see below. A forward grip or a barrel shroud. Any semi-automatic rifle with fixed magazine that can accept more than 10 rounds, except tubular magazine 22 rimfire rifles. A semi-automatic pistol that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has a second pistol grip. Seen very few of those. A threaded barrel. They all have threads. I think what they're talking about, the threaded barrel, is accepts a silencer. A barrel shroud. Can accept a detachable magazine outside of the pistol grip, and a semi-automatic pistol with a fixed magazine that accept more than 10 rounds. Or a semi-automatic shotgun with a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip, the ability to accept a detachable magazine or a fixed magazine capacity of more than 5 rounds, and or a shotgun with a revolving cylinder. Oh, those are great guns. Now, Skippy Boy Wonder how he got his job, has got U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, who is a racist. Seriously, racist. He can add any originally designed for military or law enforcement use, or a firearm based on the design of such firearm that is not particularly suitable for sporting purposes, as determined by the U.S. Attorney General. So if you've got a Daisy BB gun, that's evil. Get rid of it. One of those weapons really does. All right, moving on, because we live in a free country, and as long as I got my First Amendment rights, screw you, Obama. All right, this is written by Alex Newman. UN seeks internet kill switch next month, documents show. As Americans focus on U.S. presidential elections, the United Nations and a wide swath of its autocratic members' regimes were drafting a plan to give a little-known UN agency control over the online world. Among the most contentious schemes, a plot to hand the International Telecommunications Union a so-called kill switch for the internet that critics would say would use to smash free speech. It'll kill Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio. They'll try to kill us, basically. It'll take us off the air. So that's the ITU, the International Telecommunications Unit proposal to reform the internet, drafted in secret and quietly published online last week, revealed a broad plan to rein in what up until now has been largely unregulated tool allowing people all over the world to freely express their views at little or no cost financially. Unlike dictatorships such as the communist regime ruling over mainland China, and might I add the United States, and the governments of Muslim-dominated countries, most Western-style governments have been unable or unwilling to regulate the web apart from minor restrictions on subjects such as child pornography and the like. Well, yeah, we really need to get rid of child pornography. All right, if you want to get your freak on, do it with an adult. So the UN wants to have control over your internet. Your internet. The internet which you pay for, mind you. Now, you see, the thing is if they do a kill switch and they have the right to a kill switch, then you need to think of other ways of getting your information. I don't care if I have to frickin' send this out by carrier pigeon to everybody. The truth will come out. They're looking for a civil war. I think it's going to be world war, to be really honest with you. You kill the internet. Do you know how many housewives are going to be without their Farmville? Oh my God. The tyranny. The tragedy. No Farmville. Wives will be pissed. They will be so angry. Makes me want, I kind of hope they do that, just to see the women lose their mind. All right, let's go back to NDA real quick here. And this comes from J.D. Hayes. This is from Canada Free Post. Texas prepares to nullify the TSA, NDAA, in showdown of state liberty versus federal tyranny. Hey, sounds familiar? Now, actually, this comes from Natural News. Excuse me. Dissatisfaction is spreading rapidly through a divided nation in the wake of the November 6th election, as citizens in nearly every state have begun petitioning the federal government to leave the union. By the way, they would not become a separate nation. They would just become a free state. You know, free. What we used to be. Now, according to the 10th Amendment Center, a national think tank that works to preserve and protect the principles of strictly limiting government through information, education, and activism, the state legislature of Texas will consider a pair of bills aimed at protecting some basic civil liberties for citizens. Now, Representative David Simpson of Longwood, Texas, pre-filed a measure called the Texas Travel Freedom Act, or HB 80, which would make it a criminal act to intentionally touch the anus, breast, buttocks, or sexual organ of another person, including touching through clothing, without probable cause, in the process of allowing someone access to public transportation. In other words, you're not going to get your free grope anymore in Texas. Isn't that wonderful? The measure also forbids removing a child under the age of 18 from the physical custody or control of a parent or guardian. So Texas is working on this. Now, to be really honest with you, and I'm going to be very honest with you, if Texas declares secession from the United States, I'm leaving Frostbite Falls. That's right. I'm going to go to the Alamo. I'm moving to Texas. I do not want to go to Texas. I want to live in Frostbite Falls, my hometown. I will. I want to be free. Let's take another 30-second break here and be right back with more. All right, we're back. Now, there's been an update to the story, but I'm going to tell you what the story is first. Student expelled for refusing location tracking RFID badge. Now, this is in Texas at the John Jay High School in San Antonio. A judge has told the school to go pack sand. They have put the student back into place. After months of protesting a policy requiring high school students to wear an RFID badge, it's what they put on clothes so they don't walk out of the store by themselves. Now, the students are supposed to wear this badge around their neck at all times. Andrea Hernandez is being involuntarily withdrawn from the John Jay High School, which is ironic because John Jay, if I'm not mistaken, was the first Chief Justice of the U.S. Now, this suspension is actually supposed to take place next week, and the school, a letter sent by the district that has now been made public. Now, it says, Mr. Hernandez, our records indicate you received our response to your Level 1 grievance on Saturday, October 13th. John Jay High School and the Science and Engineering Academy are now in full implementation of the Smart ID program, and all students are expected to comply with the Smart ID policy. As with all magnet school programs, students are expected to follow the school's rules, policies, and procedures. Because your daughter Andrea has refused to wear the badge given to her this year, she will be withdrawn to her home school of Howard William Taft High School on Monday, November 26th, in the event you change your stance on wearing the ID with the battery and chip removed, as has been offered to you on 2 occasions, we will be more than willing to rescind this withdrawal notice. So basically, it's a special school she's at. Now, civil liberty lawyers at the Rutherford Institute told InfoWars, that's where this came from, by Aaron Dykes, that they are in the process of filing a temporary restraining order petition to prevent the school from kicking her out until further appeals can be made to resolve the matter. Representatives for John Jay did not return calls for comment by the time of publishing. Now, her family has claimed the policy violates her religious beliefs and unduly infringes on her privacy. The controversial ID badge includes the photo and name of each student, a barcode tied to the student's social security number, as well as the RFID chip, which pinpoints the exact location of this individual student, including after hours and when the student leaves campus. This is tyranny, ladies and gentlemen. Tyranny. Are they wearing the ID? Anybody? When you ask somebody to do something, you had better let it happen to yourself. Let me case in point this next one. Declan McCullough, and I believe this comes from the Blaze, CNET, excuse me. Senate bill rewrite lets feds read your email without warrants. Proposed privacy, and then law enforcement complained. Now it increases government access to emails and other digital files. Skippy's gonna sign off on this. You and I both know that. Now, Patrick Leahy, which is actually his Leaky Leahy because he always gives out leaks, previously said his bill boosts American email privacy protections by requiring that the government obtain a search warrant. They took it off. Let me tell you some of the highlights of this bill. Grants warrantless access to Americans' electronics correspondence to over 22 federal agencies. Only a subpoena itself is required, not a search warrant signed by a judge based on probable cause. It permits state and local law enforcement to warrantly access Americans' correspondence stored on systems not offered to the public, including university networks. Authorizes any law enforcement agency to access accounts without a warrant or subsequent court review if they claim, quote, emergency, I'm doing air quotes, situations exist. Says providers shall notify law enforcement in advance of any plans to tell their customers that they've been the target of a warrant, order, or subpoena. You know what? I think it'd be a 30-second notification. As in, they put it in the mailbox. When they see the mailman drive up, they make the phone call. Oh yeah, we're going to be notifying James Smith that we're going to be releasing this information to you. And then it goes in the mail. And then you're notified, so they can't stop you. Delays notification of customers whose accounts have been accessed from 3 days to 10 business days. These notifications can be posted up to 360 days. Guess who gets to read your emails? Securities and Exchange Commission, the Federal Communications Commission. They want to be able to access your email, Google Docs files, Facebook wall posts, and Twitter direct messages without a search warrant. It also gives the FBI and Homeland Security more authority. Like they need more authority, the pieces of crap. In some circumstances, to gain full access to internet accounts without notifying either the owner or a judge. Now, do as I say, don't do as I do. I think their emails should be made public. Every last one of them. And I'm thinking, starting with Patrick Leahy, Leaky Leahy. That would be an interesting email. Wouldn't it? Interesting freedom of information. Thoughts here, ladies and gentlemen. 523, that's about $250 in postage. That would be an interesting one. That would be very interesting. I wonder if I could get away with that. It's a federal agency. Any all from and to federal agencies, to these representatives. Ooh, I think I've got a classic idea. And I wonder if I can e-file those. I bet I can e-file those. I'll send it to all 22 of the federal agencies, and that way they have to give it over. And I can do that electronically. Ooh, I like that idea. I might just do that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're 35 minutes into this. We're going to do one more break, and I'm going to have a parting comments, and then I will talk to you all or in the show. So hang. Okay, we're back, and we've got one last article here. It's about emails, actually. Now, at the Environmental Protection Agency, which are evil group, okay, more evil than guns, more evil than sharp pointy things. The administrator, Lisa Jackson, has been using personal email under the name of Richard Windsor. So, I mean, she's kind of bugly, so I think she'd probably get away with looking like Richard Windsor. And she's been using this in order to bypass federal transparency laws. And so the House committee has launched an investigation to find out whether she is hiding correspondences from open government requests and her agency's own internal watchdog, which, by the way, is illegal. Now, who did this? The Washington Times. Now, at the time, the EPA did not respond Friday night for a request from comment. Of course, they're not going to. Isn't that interesting? All right, let's get out of here. I'm going to talk to you guys later, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Pass this along. Email me, james@PPRN, or news@PPRNnews.com. Just save a lot of time and trouble. Bye-bye, everybody.